Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Get It Straight. I'd give it a few more minutes, but we've got a very full agenda today. Normally, we would start with photos of new residents, but we don't have any to share. So we will move on to one of my favorite sections, which is milestones, where we recognize the wonderful culture of our community and celebrate some of our team members. So we have 3 to celebrate today. On June 11th, Josie Advincula, I hope I got that right, marked 5 years as a charge nurse in the health center. On June 10th, Francisco Hernandez marked 10 years as a dishwasher in dining services. And while it's not quite a 5-year anniversary, what can you say about Laura Simpson, who marked 34 years at White Sands on June 16th? So Laura started, and we've seen pictures of this, Laura started in dining services. And for a while, she was the concierge at the front desk. And now she manages all of the maintenance requests in buildings and grounds. So when you see these team members, please thank them for their dedication to White Sands and its residents. I wanted to just bring your attention to an article that appeared in the Sandpiper this week. We are looking for new leadership on the two council committees that are charged with bringing entertainment to your living room on many Wednesday evenings. That's the Movie Committee and the Downey Artist Series. And Catherine Mills has been chairing both of these committees since 2018 and 2021, respectively. But she would like to retire at the end of 2025. Now, we've posted job descriptions for both of these committees on the bulletin board, and I'm happy to email you a copy if you're interested. We'd like to find a chair or co-chairs, even people who are interested in being committee members. And Catherine is going to be doing this for the rest of the year, so you have an opportunity to sit in on a committee meeting and shadow her when she runs a movie or a concert. So we've had a lot of new residents move in the last few years. I hope that somebody will come forward and make sure that we can continue these wonderful events for our residents. And now we're going to have an update on the REAP campaign. I'm going to turn it over to Buzz Gittleson to give us a brief update on the status, and he's got some guests to speak. And we have a minor technical adjustment.
Yeah.
For you.
Thank you. Pass the baton. Should put my glasses on. I think I'll be able to see it, but there we go. Let's just stop with that one for a minute. And what do I look? Okay. So where am I? I'm just pressing down.
Yes, give me a second.
Down button or up button. And now I'm pressing. Yeah.
The left.
Hi, everybody. This is an update. As you know, this year we've emphasized our REAP campaign, our resident, okay. What did I do?
No.
Our resident employee education assistant program as our primary campaign, along with our, of course, at year end, our employee appreciation program, fundraising. And we set it off in our May, in our May, Get It Straight. And this is just a little update for where we are. Okay, status report. To date, this says we received 51,004. Our goal, as you know, as you may recall, is 100,000. And we've made good progress, but actually we know that there's some more funds, some more contributions on the way. So it's getting better, but we still got a ways to go. We're maybe in between 60 and 70% there. And there's a little bit more we'd love to get in before the end of the campaign. And we've received 54 gifts so far. It'll be at least 56, I think, or so. And what we want to do is have two past recipients just quickly tell us a little bit about their REAP award and what they've done with it. Pat, you want to start? Pat Guerrero, our Director of Community Life, of course.
Hi, everyone. I was a very grateful recipient of two awards, one in 2012 and one in 2014. When I first started at White Sands, I was the move coordinator. And then as time went on, I added other jobs to my title and had no experience as an activities person. So I went and got the first certification, which is all that Human Good required. But I realized that I wanted more. I wanted to know the why and the why we do what we do, the regulations behind it. So I applied for the national certification, and it was a much bigger ask. It was 180 hours of practicum and 180 hours of book learning. And it was just a really big undertaking. And I thought, no problem, I could do this. Well, as I was working and taking on jobs and everything else. So I did receive the award and I started the project, and then I just realized I couldn't do it. And I had to wait, and I went back to the committee and said, I'm going to give you your money back. I just can't do it right now. And they said, no, you keep the money. You'll do it sometime. And so a few years back, I went ahead and completed the certification and passed the national exam and have my certification. But so besides the money, the committee was so gracious in one, realizing that, okay, one day you will do this. We're not taking our money back. But they kept checking in with me and saying, are you doing okay? How's it going? Is there anything I can do to help? So it just made me feel so valued. Yes, the money was appreciated. I needed it. I couldn't have done it without the money, but all the support behind it was worth almost more than the money, because I felt that there was a whole team of residents behind me saying, you got this, Pat, you can do it. So I am a very grateful recipient, and so proud to say that I'm a nationally certified activity director because of the REAP program.
Our next recipient is Donna Wolf, who's our front desk concierge supervisor, and she's done a very interesting and unique thing with our REAP gifts to her.
Hi there, can you hear me? Okay, before you hit that, don't start it yet. I'm sorry? Closer? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. So anyway, as Buzz said, I am Donna Wolf. For those of you who don't know me, I am the supervisor of the front desk. I am also a grateful REAP recipient. Mine was several years ago. I'm trying to think how far back it was now. But mine was a little bit different from what some of the other team members have done, the other recipients, because a lot of them are doing ones that have to do with their career, what they do here at White Sands or what they do outside. And I wasn't looking to change my job because I love what I do. I also would never leave here. So mine was more to do with my creative endeavors, the other parts of me, because we're all more than just what our job is, right? It's the other things that we do. So I swore I was not going to get emotional.
Emotions are fun.
Anyway, it was something that rounded me as an individual and let me express some of the things that I see. When you see what I do, I'm never going to be a Dr. Hagler. I'm never going to be a famous photographer like Maylie Rich Griffith, but this is what I do. And it was because of the award. So I hope you enjoy. I wanted to show you what I've learned and hope you enjoy it. Wow.
That's, yeah, that would be fabulous for Sandpiper. Want to put one of those on the cover coming up. We contributed to that. I think that's really should pat ourselves on the back for having provided the financial support that allowed Donna to create something so beautiful. This is just mind-boggling. While we're fixing this up, we'll ask Rhoda Green, who's another member of our REAP committee, to come up and say a few words.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Brad and I have supported REAP from the time Randy and Ann Kent envisioned and developed the program in 2006. The best part of supporting REAP is the wonderful friendships you develop with the team members. Getting an education means so much to them. You can feel their excitement and their commitment. Giving is such a big part of living at White Sands. Our goal with this REAP fundraising campaign is to increase our REAP fund to maintain its continuing benefits to our qualifying team members. Our gift, any gift size, is welcome and makes a difference. Anita Fraley, Vice President of Philanthropy, and Samantha Guerri can answer all your questions and are always so helpful. Thank you very much for supporting the REAP campaign for team member education.
Got it. Okay. Going to go through here. Go through here. We've seen this before. So this is now a quick overview of the people who are current REAP recipients, just to give you a sense. We're not going to dwell on them, but it gives you the flavor of the breadth of the REAP Gifts REAP Awards. Nancy Cardenas, our social services coordinator. Sandra Camacho, home care aide. Eileen, who spoke last time we talked, who's studying social work and will be one of our directors of services. Martin Corona, wait staff. Joanne Cruz, certified nursing assistant. Skylar Gardner, activity assistant. Dalton Hermes, security guard, who I know we've all seen around a lot. Maria Camila Dundale, okay, I'm going to mess this up, James, certified nursing assistant. Katrin Jevcik, certified nurse's assistant. Rowena O'Connor, home care aide. Khaliz Pittman, a home care aide. Alejandro Rico, a bartender. We know Alejandro, we see him all the time. And Nicholas, we see him, Nicholas Sarka, wait staff. Ian Sanchez, our lead wait staff. We know Ian very well. Sarah Simon, certified nursing assistant. These are, that's just a little note that the gifts are tax deductible, but these are only a few of our REAP, our team members who benefited from our REAP awards. They and many others are the fabric of our lives at White Sands. And as I said last time, from the time you wake up until the time you go to bed and thereafter, they're the team that really makes White Sands tick. And we hope you'll join us in meeting our goal this year. Thank you very much.
We're going to go to the edutainment.
Screen change. Last month, we began introducing each of our committee clusters that operate under the auspices of the White Sands Residents Association. So this afternoon, whoops. At least it's not Shelley on her phone telling us that there's a fire on Gilman Drive, and then we had, that interrupted us once. So Ann is here to talk about the edutainment cluster. Ann, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Ann Collinari, and I am the coordinator of the Edutainment Cluster. Last week, Mike Foley described the activities of the committees in the business cluster. Today, I'd like to tell you about the 7 edutainment committees in the edutainment cluster. They share the goal of educating and entertaining residents through presentation and discussion of a wide range of topics: politics, the arts, health, nutrition, global issues, and religion. You will already know them, as they are very active and appear regularly among White Sands activities. Concerned Seniors Making a Difference brings together residents and others who are eager to learn and understand current issues. Led by Carolyn Shadle since January 2017, the 6-member steering committee has offered monthly programs featuring invited guest speakers and residents who present varied topics for thoughtful discussion. Among them have been homelessness in San Diego, White Sands volunteerism, the new Supreme Court, La Jolla's separation from San Diego, hate and violent extremism, immigrant stories, the Electoral College, the San Diego NAACP, San Diego's Native American peoples, independent press in San Diego, and how to disagree better. Our next committee is the Downey Artists Series. The popular Downey Artists Series was funded by Carolyn Downey in 2009 to offer live professional musical concerts at White Sands. Under the leadership of Catherine Mills, the Downey Artists Series Committee works to bring high-quality musicians and performers to us throughout the year and as part of the Downey Welcome event. Many of the musicians are featured in area venues and festivals. Some classical musicians, like Gustavo Romero, are invited back regularly. The Food Nutrition Information Committee is a new committee proposed by C.S. Yang in March 2023. The committee meets monthly to plan lectures and presentations on diet, nutrition, and health. It meets quarterly with the White Sands administrative dining staff to discuss strategies for improving the resident dining experience. It produces articles, shows movies, and suggests popular additions to the daily meals, such as tempting plant-based protein salads, vegan entrees, and labeled samples of the menu on the chef's action station. In addition, individual members host nutrition chats on Zoom and healthy eating dinners in the Petite Cafe. The Great Decisions Committee provides a framework in which residents deepen their knowledge and understanding about global issues, other cultures and peoples, and the role of the United States in the world. Introduced 14 years ago by Carolyn Shadle, the Great Decisions Study Group meets monthly on Zoom for 90 minutes to view a video and discuss a topic using international materials formulated by the Foreign Policy Association. Each registrant secures a briefing book containing 8 10-page thought-provoking analyses on issues of concern to U.S. policymakers today. Some of the 2025 topics have been American foreign policy at the crossroads, international cooperation on climate change, future of NATO and European security, AI and American national security. The Library Committee maintains our library collection of over 2,000 volumes. The Library Fund, gifted by a former resident, makes it possible for the committee to choose and purchase some 4 to 7 new books a month. A large committee, it meets monthly to manage book acquisitions, the bookshelves, the library computer, and the circulation of well over 100 books a week. An introduction to the library can be found, oh my goodness. There you go. The map is not coming up, but there is an example of the map in several places in the library. So I want to point that out to you. There is a map showing you where the various categories are located in the library area. So be sure to look for it. An introduction to the library can be found in the library brochure, which the committee updated last year. It's important to note that the library is not laid out according to the Dewey Decimal System, but traditionally by categories, located on the library map and on shelf labels. Books are alphabetized by author within each category. Guided by responses from its 2024 resident survey, the committee plans and hosts occasional special events, such as the semi-annual Poetry Fest and the White Sands Book Chats. The co-chairs of the Lifelong Learning Committee, Mark Evans and Estelle Ebert, write that in addition to circulating the weekly email from Curiosity University, featuring recorded lectures by esteemed educators, their committee made a renewed commitment to bring live speakers to White Sands. To that end, in 2024, they sponsored lectures on sleep hygiene and strategies, Alzheimer's disease, and the Supreme Court's 2023-24 term. The committee also sponsored a popular series of lectures arranged by Cliff Caldwell and presented by his Scripps colleagues on various orthopedic issues of concern to older adults. All of the talks were well attended and well received. In 2025, the committee requested and received a budget supplement from the council to allow them to offer a speaker honorarium of up to $300. So far, they have arranged 5 presentations live and aim to have 1 or 2 more.
You're there. Go back one. Go back.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. When did that happen? Okay. The 21st Century Religious Studies Committee brings together people who seek to relate their personal religious experiences to 21st century understandings of the human experience in the larger world. This committee sets schedules and recommends topics for study. It invites all who wish to engage in respectful discussion of religious viewpoints, some of which may differ from their own. The chair, Philip Weiler, offered the first of his courses in summer 2009, based on DVDs and books. Since then, he has offered 24 different classes, roughly 2 per year, on such topics as the Bible, science and religion, process theology, cosmology, and Eastern religions. Participants meet in 10 weekly discussion sessions on Zoom with 2 meeting options per week. The last 2 courses were focused on the topics Christian nationalism in fall 2024 and After Jesus, Before Christianity in spring 2025. The text chosen for the course being offered in September is Modern Jews Engage the New Testament by Rabbi Michael J. Cook. I believe it is still possible to enroll. In addition, Phil presides over monthly chats with those interested in learning about process thought, a philosophy pioneered by Alfred North Whitehead that emphasizes that reality is fundamentally dynamic and characterized by processes of change and becoming. If this presentation has piqued your interest in one of the edutainment committees, please contact the committee chair for further information or to express your support. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Anne. Next month, we will be doing the Helping Hands Cluster. I wish there were a simpler way to do this. Okay. In my role as chair of the Human Good Resident Council, I've been fortunate now to visit 22 of our 23 life plan communities. And today I wanted to give you a glimpse of 4 that I've visited recently. Since we created the Human Good Resident Council in 2018, based on a structure suggested actually by White Sands residents in 1990, including Mary Hegler, as the spokesperson for the Human Good Resident Council, I've been advocating with Human Good Board and leadership team for a greater resident voice in what constitutes and defines living our best life. And I've talked about the resident team member partnership efforts that at some of our recent Get It Straights that are a direct result of this advocacy. So in each of these visits, I meet with the resident councils and I give a presentation to all the residents about Human Good and about the Human Good Resident Council and how individual life plan communities fit into these structures. And in 3 of the 4 communities, I also met with the local leadership team to talk about the many resident partnerships underway. So on May 6th and 7th, I visited Valverde in Santa Barbara, which is one of the former ABHAL communities. And you may remember this was voted the #1 CCRC in the country in the U.S. News and World Report's 2023 survey. And it was also the #1 CCRC in California. It is so desirable that it has a many-year waiting list for its bungalows. It was founded in 1966, and it has 375 residents in 4 levels of care on 66 acres. It's in a valley just over the hills from the Pacific Ocean. Admittedly, it's a 2-mile walk to get to the ocean from Valverde, which is a little bit further than we have to go. But with the exception of a couple of central community spaces, the campus is all one level with 249 individual bungalows for independent living residents. The landscaping is lush, there are walking paths throughout, and golf carts make rounds to take residents to the central dining room and to the Amigos Grill. Tall trees surround the buildings. There's a bocce court, a pickleball court, and a pool. They even have a community park across the street, and a local bus stop stops right outside the main entrance. They also have a very active, engaged, committed group of residents, very much like those of White Sands, with a resident-run resale shop that makes $40,000 to $50,000 a year to support community projects. And residents from Val Verde are co-leaders with our resident team member partnerships on environmental sustainability and inclusion. And in one of those serendipitous occurrences, the president of Val Verde's resident council is married to a theoretical physicist, and they had lived in Pittsburgh. And we happen to have new residents here, Dodie and Ralph Roskis, with a similar background. So when I got back on the off chance, I emailed Dodie to see if they knew the Langers. Well, of course they did. And as it happened that the Roskis were visiting their grandson in Santa Barbara, the two couples got together and reconnected after many years. So it's a small world. On May 16th, I visited Hillside in McMinnville, Oregon, which is about an hour southwest of Portland in the middle of wine country. I happened to be there when they were celebrating the 25th anniversary of McMinnville's International UFO Festival. But fortunately, they gave me directions to avoid the aliens. Hillside was founded in 1983 and had been under several owners before Human Good purchased it from Brookdale, which is another senior living organization, in 2023. And there are 300 residents in 4 levels of care. This is a large, lush campus, replete with deer on the lawns. And like Val Verde, many of the independent living residents live in bungalows clustered in circles around the 55 acres. The main building, the manor, is quite old, and Human Good is currently considering how to modernize this space, which is the only real space for resident activities. Here you'll find the library, the small chapel, and they have a lofty dining room, which reminded me of the Crown Room at the Hotel Del, but on a much smaller scale. And Human Good is nearing completion of 11 new cottages at Hillside that are boosting occupancy. And these have vaulted ceilings, even wine coolers in the kitchen, and large backyards. So they're more in the style of Val Verde or Rydal Waters in Jenkintown. And they're meant to attract those who want to make a gentle transition from their home to community living. And these cottages give them the best of both worlds. Then on May 19th and 20th, I was at Judson Park, which is the only other Human Good life plan community overlooking the water. In this case, Puget Sound. Founded in 1963, it sits on 11 acres in Des Moines, Washington, which is a small town about 15 miles south of Seattle. It came under ABHA ownership in 1982. And while the resident population is around 300, and that's about average for our life plan communities, it has a 96-bed skilled nursing facility, which is second only to Rydal Park in size. And 1/3 of its residents are over 90 years old. So unlike Val Verde and Hillside, all the buildings at Judson Park are multi-story. But on a clear day, you can see the Olympic Peninsula. So it's not surprising, like White Sands, that the most desirable units have water views. And like many of our communities, Judson Park is undergoing remodeling. The dining room and the bistro and the lobby have all been redone. And you might have a sense of deja vu when you see the color scheme and the furnishings, except that most of their artwork depicts the Pacific Northwest. But otherwise, it looks a lot like what's happening in our assisted living. Downstairs, they're just finishing up remodeling their library, their lounge, and their fitness area. And as might be expected, they have a very large, with such a large health center, they have a huge therapy room, and that gets a lot of use. And then my last visit was on May 20th and 21st. I visited the terraces at Summit View in Yakima, Washington. This is one of our newest communities, and we closed the affiliation with Living Care in 2022. But the community itself was founded in 1958 and began operating at its current location in 1961. It's about the same size as White Sands, but with only 3 levels of care. And the unique thing about this is it's an all rental community, although the residents who live there are totally committed to Summit View. It also has 2 levels of service. So some apartments come with 1 meal a day and housekeeping, while others don't. But those are available for purchase. So the second option is has lower monthly rents. And life revolves around the village center, where you will find their bistro and their chapel. And when I happened to be there, they had a welcome sign at the entrance to the bistro. Tracy Anderson from the CSC was also visiting, so they welcomed, the sign welcomed both of us. Residents get 1 meal a day in the bistro, but interestingly, this bistro is open to the public for breakfast and lunch. And it's very popular with the community. I suspect that's where they get some of their new residents from. And it's one of only 3 of our dining programs that's currently self-operated by Human Good. And I must say that the 2 meals that I had there were the best that I've had so far in any Human Good community, although Valverde came close. However, in all fairness, I have not been to any Human Good community that had the range of food options, the amazing salad bar, a pizza oven, so many action stations, or our vast everyday menu as we have at White Sands, and we certainly have location. Every Human Good resident and team member I have met that has been to White Sands is wowed by this spot. So consider yourselves very fortunate. After visiting 22 of 23 Life Plan communities, we are still the best. And now I am going to turn it over to Venus Joe, our Health Services Administrator, who is here to talk about the services our clinic provides, both everyday services and special services, and as well as what Nicole Scribner's home care aides how they can support you. And then Venus said she'd take questions afterwards. So Luis is going to monitor the chat and I will walk around with a microphone. So Venus.
Thank you. Thank you, Anita. Good afternoon, everyone here at the OBL and on Zoom. So on behalf of the Director of Wellness, Diana Lyons, and Nicole Scribner, our Home Care and Fitness Supervisor, my name is Venus Joe. I am the Health Services Administrator, and I oversee the healthcare here at White Sands. Today's presentation is about clinic services and the good at home services. And yes, I am happy to take questions later. I will start my presentation a little differently. And I usually start with clinic services, what are services that are free of charge or are chargeable. But this time, I am going to start with frequently asked questions. So I'm sure there are a lot of questions that are in everyone's mind as far as what can the clinic do for us? But I would like to kind of like pick a few of the frequently asked questions to either myself or the team members at the clinic in the hopes of during my presentation, some of these will be answered. Otherwise, I'm gonna go back and answer this. So the first question is that I or my spouse am being discharged from the hospital. Now, the hospital is recommending skilled nursing, but I want to go back home. What can the clinic do for us? Next, I had surgery and need treatment. Can the clinic provide this service for me at home, either in the independent living or assisted living? Or I don't feel well. I need temporary assistance at home. Can the clinic help me with this? Oops, sorry. Can the clinic help me with my insurance information or appointments? I need medication refill now. Can the doctor here at White Sands call the pharmacy for refills? And most of the questions that are asked of us are these services being charged us with whatever we need? So I will start off with the clinic services. So these are the clinic services that's provided to you at no charge. Wellness checks. Well, when I say wellness checks, it's like checking on you and see how you are. If you're sick, we're checking on you on an every shift basis. If you are in higher levels of care, then we do more oversight. We do make rounds regularly. For independent residents, we do make calls. We do usually our best practice is to call you every shift and check on you and see how you are. Those are free of charge. Those are for no charge, I mean. First aid, if you happen to cut yourself, kind of like bump your arm, probably sustained a cut or a laceration, you call the clinic to help, or you go to the clinic to get help. Those first aid services are not chargeable. The pre and post hospital visit care, meaning if you have an appointment for a procedure and you need help from the clinic, questions, probably things like your doctor is telling you to do pre-op medications or pre-op instructions, you go to the clinic, you call us, we don't charge you with that. If you come home from this post procedure, we still do wellness checks, which means no charge. Best practice, we call you every shift for 3 days. Some of you may require for us to just call you once a day. We will honor that request. But ideally, we would want to make sure that you are okay and that you're being helped when you feel that you're not well enough to function before you're like before having the procedure. Those are all at no charge. So we also wrote down here the daily morning room check. This is if you missed to press your button to check in every day. So the process is when you press the button, then you are registered that you called for that day or you checked in for that day. Now, if you forgot or probably the button isn't working, then the front desk will make sure that when they get the report, they call you, or if they see you walking, they'll check off that they saw you. However, if they call and you did not answer and they didn't see you, they will let the clinic know that, oh, Mr. 3, for example, Mr. 498, it's not answer. So did not answer. So the clinic's responsibility is to go to the room and check on you just to make sure you're safe. Vital signs check. If you are requesting vital signs check, if you need your blood pressure to be checked, those are of no charge. Some of the routine vital signs that we have, probably you want to just have yourself weighed because your doctor wants you to get your weight every week or daily weights. It is always advisable to come at the time when the clinic is not busy. And I identified that time after talking to my team members that the time for these vital signs, blood pressure or weight, is between the hours of 10 to 11 in the morning and around 3 to 4 in the afternoon. That's the least busy time. And of course, it varies from day to day, but for the majority of the time, those are their availability. Still at no charge, in the event of an emergency and you call the clinic for help, we immediately appear to your apartment. If we feel as though that you need to go to the hospital for whatever reason it may be, calling the ambulance will be our responsibility. And of course, sometimes there is some pushback that, oh, I'm not going to the hospital, I'm fine. So our responsibility is to still do our due diligence. We call the hospital. When the paramedics gets in, they determine that you need to go to the hospital. And it's a conversation that will happen between you and the paramedics. And if the paramedics feels safe that you need to go, then our best practice is to encourage you to go. However, when they hear and you refuse to go to the hospital, we can just encourage you, but still will respect your wishes. Transportation setup, meaning if you have an appointment and will need transportation setup, ideally we do this for higher levels of care. But if you will reach out to us and say, I need transportation for my appointment, we will be able to help you with that at no charge as well. Mobile laboratory and imaging. We do labs here as per your doctor's orders, but we only have certain days that our lab technician or our phlebotomist comes to the facility. It's only every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And unfortunately, there is no time for them to be here. So that's kind of like the challenge, because I cannot tell you that they're going to be here at 9 o'clock when their time frame that they gave us is between 9 to 2 in the afternoon. Sometimes also it's challenging because they either are stuck in somewhere else or traffic, or they don't come at the right time. So you have the option to go to a hospital where they can draw your blood or do the test. But if you choose to be at White Sands, we can do that. We can certainly write the requisition and schedule you for the next phlebotomy blood draw. But that is, again, involves waiting. And we use Trident Care for our labs and imaging. Medication management for higher levels, it's part of the services that we provide at no charge. And for residential living residents who moved in prior to 2017, we are not charging medication management. This means that we will be dispensing your medications for you. So now let's proceed to the services provided by White Sands, but this time these are chargeable services. So if you need temporary assistance with activities of daily living, which means you need assistance with bathing, dressing, grooming, just because you're not your best self during that day or that week, those are temporary assistance provided by Good at Home private duty caregivers, and it is an out-of-pocket expenses. We also charge for incontinence supplies, which includes here gloves, wipes, and all that. Toiletries, if we have to provide that, we will need to charge you for that as well. More on the chargeable, wound care, treatments, and bandages, and changes. So this might be a little, what do you call this? This might be a little surprise to you, because earlier I said with first aid, if you have a cut, we're not going to charge. But this wound care that I am talking about, this is now the daily wound care that we are going to provide for you. Some of which you already have, some of the residents that we provided treatment at the higher levels, they already have their supplies with them. So we're not charging you with the supplies. However, we have to charge you with nursing time. So for independent residents, we do that. It's increments of 15 minutes. So we have certain charges for that, and I will be able to provide that amount for you. I'm sorry, I don't have it with me, but it's in the increments of 15 minutes. Escort to outside appointments. If you need to have someone with you to go for your appointments, not just a driver, but a private duty caregiver, that is also a service that we can provide, but we have to charge you for that. If you choose for the clinic to manage your medication and you are living in the residential living and you move in after 2017 of January, then we charge you with a monthly rate of, I think, $400 to $450 a month. But that is also including the many times that we go to your apartment. So for example, you're receiving 9 medications or more, and the frequency of some of those medications are to be provided to you for like about 3-4 times a day. It is still the same charge. We do not charge for the many times that we're there. It's a standard charge. Okay, so at the clinic, we also have in-house providers in the person of our doctor, Dr. Daniel Given. Dr. Daniel Given can be a primary care physician or can be your alternate physician. So it's always advisable to establish visit with Dr. Given just in case your own primary care physician is difficult to be contacted. Dr. Given is here at White Sands between 3 to 4 times a week. So he dedicates one day at the health center every other Monday, and the rest is dedicated at the clinic. We also have a wound doctor if we need wound consult, and that is as when needed. The wound doctor is here right away. For your hearing needs, like if you want to have your hearing aid check or if you want to order new hearing aids, we have a company that comes here. The name is Clear Choice. So if you need any assistance with this, you can reach out to the clinic or our social services team members. Other in-house providers that White Sands has is the nurse practitioner specializing in psychiatry. She's here almost every week, or as we are requesting her to be here. We also have a psychologist here in the person of Dr. Pevney. Again, Dr. Pevney's services depends on when we call him for referral, but he is also here to follow up on residents that he already sees. We also have in-house therapy, physical, occupational, and speech. We also have podiatry consult here. This is either monthly or according to Medicare guidelines. Sometimes it's 61 days, depending on the approved visit. Other healthcare services not managed by the clinic at no charge. We have social services. Eileen Karandang is already our social worker, and her extension is at 55861. Currently, Eileen shares office with the Director of Wellness, Diana, across the clinic until her own office is completed. We have a registered dietitian, Ashley Mueller. Her extension is 55885 for any advice regarding nutrition. Clinic management, Director of Wellness, Diana Lyons. Her extension is 55828. My contact information, 55827, and my cell phone number is also there. I am always open to phone calls at any time if you have any questions. Okay, so that's the clinic, and now let's proceed to Good at Home. Good at Home is private duty caregiver run by Nicole Scribner, and I will discuss with you the services that Good at Home provides. So Good at Home provides personal care, housekeeping, miscellaneous services, and pet care. So let's go back to personal care. If you need help in activities of daily living, like I mentioned earlier, because again, probably you're not feeling well, you're under the weather, you are just coming from a procedure and you're not back at your old self, Nicole's people can help you with this personal care involving shaving, cosmetics, companionship, meal preparation, among others, and laundry, ironing, and organization of your apartment. Nicole also provides housekeeping services if you need more than the scheduled housekeeping services, up to and including cleaning your apartment and garbage removal. Also, Nicole's people can help you with your dishes, with cleaning your refrigerator and your oven, changing your bed sheets that you are not able to do so because of, again, of not being able to feel better. Services provided again, Nicole's people can also help you with watering your plants. Let's say, for example, you're going to be on vacation, you have plants in your home, so you can schedule that with Nicole, making the beds, turn down services. I actually asked Nicole, what's a turn down services? And it is something to do with kind of like opening your bed for you at night when you are not able to. Assistance with reading for those that are vision impaired. Nicole's team members can do that for you. Pet care, this is the most popular. Pet care, including feeding your pets, walking them, and cleaning the litter box for your pet. And the good at home management is Nicole Scribner. Her extension is 55853. So as far as services and with Clinic and Nicole, I think I am done with that. So I'm going to go back to my second to the last slides, which is your question. But I'm going to go back to my very first slide, which we can all answer. If you have the same questions like this. So again, I would like to let you know though that every case is unique. Okay, every single need is different. So my answer to some of these questions may always be, it depends on everyone's need when they return from the hospital or when they are ready to return to the hospital. So for the first question, am I discharged from the hospital, recommending skilled nursing? I want to go back home. What can the clinic do for me? So again, we would always want to make sure that we have this conversation with your case manager at the hospital, understanding your care. Now, if you are out there because you had your surgery, hip surgery, knee surgery, and the recommendation of the physical therapist is for you to go to a skilled nursing to do intensive rehab, our best advice and recommendation, even myself personally, is for you to go to a skilled nursing facility where your Medicare will cover your stay there. That way, you will be able to get your intensive therapy. Intensive therapy means you will get more therapy than White Sands can provide. You will get therapy twice a day. At White Sands, you will only probably get a maximum of 3 therapies, physical therapy session a week, depending on the discipline. So are you able to go back home? So it's a conversation that will happen between us, your spouse, your significant other, or your family, and see what is best for you. Yes, we do have residents coming home from the hospital if there is one person in the household who is well enough to take full responsibility of the person who is recovering from surgery. That being said, the clinic can only support with calling you and asking you what you need and probably recommending that you might need a little help from Nicole's people to, do all the things that you're not able to do yet while you're recovering. Does that answer the question? Again, if you have any other need, every case is unique. Every case is different. Your recovery from a hip surgery may be different from the way I recover from a hip surgery. So every need is different. Yes, Betsy.
What do you do about fasting blood tests early? What do you do about fasting blood tests that need to be early?
I know. Yes. Yes. What do we do for a fasting blood test and it has to be taken early? So again, like what I said, it is very difficult. We can only remind the Trident phlebotomist to come early and give you a time frame as to when they can come. Sometimes they will say, okay, I'll be there at 9, but again, it is not guaranteed. So probably if it is really needed to be fasting, then my best advice is really you need to go to your doctors, the hospital where they can provide you with, where you can be tested at that time. If it is really very important that you need to do that fasting. So our Trident lab is not guaranteed to be here at 4 o'clock in the morning or at 6 o'clock in the morning or even at 8 o'clock in the morning. So far, that is a lab that we have, and we're looking forward to get a better timing from them. But so far, that's what we have, and I'm so sorry about that. I had surgery, need treatment. Can the clinic provide the services for me? Yes. So then treatment, let's say, for example, you have a Mohs surgery and that the clinic will be able to provide that treatment. Yes, we can do that. Again, I'm referring to my previous slide with a charge, depending on the number of minutes. Our minimum is 15, increment of 15 minutes as well. Some of this, you may have your medications already at home. More often than not, the resident who's requiring treatment, they go to the clinic or they call the clinic and speak to our awesome charge nurses who will always meet your schedule. You know, you all we need to do is for you to communicate with our clinic staff so that you will be able to come up with a time that is also that works for both of you. Either you come to the clinic or we go to your apartment. I don't feel well. I need temporary assistance at home. Can the clinic help me with this? Yes, we can always recommend you to touch base with Nicole and see what kind of assistance you need. Again, this is an out-of-pocket expense. Can the clinic help me with my insurance and appointments? For higher levels of care, yes, we do help with insurance. We do help with appointments. For independent living. We would always want you to call your insurance company because there are questions that will not be, there are informations that your insurance company will not let us know because of HIPAA regulations. So we suggest that your insurance company, please speak to your insurance company and work with them of what is best for you. Now, if you're going to ask me to ask Dr. Given or any of our in-house providers to check whether your insurance will cover your visit with our doctors, then I can help you with that. Our clinic will be able to help you with that. But if to ask more than bill payment or co-payments, the clinic will not be able to help you with calling your insurance for that. Appointments, it depends on the appointments. If it's appointment relating to Dr. Given, yes, we can do that. But if it's appointment regarding an MRI, a CT scan, or a consultation with a consult with a specialist, I would really recommend that you call them for that because you know your schedule. I don't want to call and that you're not available. So it's always advisable that you call for your own appointments. I need a medication refill now. Can the doctor call the pharmacy? The doctor can call the pharmacy, but if it's a weekend or if it's Friday night, chances are we will be able to not get that refill right away. So I would like to request from you to request medication refills, if at all possible, during the day, during the week, so that your medication, this is for Dr. Given, because I couldn't speak for someone who's not here. And if you have a provider that's outside of White Sands, you need to be able to call them for a refill. But for Dr. Given, we have access to Dr. Given's fax information so that you will be able to fax him all the prescription refills that you need. And I would like to request that these are done before Friday afternoon or during the day, so that the chances are you'll get your refills right away. Charges, I think I've spoken about charges and non-chargeable and chargeable services. And sorry. Any other questions?
Here, I've got it.
Oh, thank you.
Just curious, how much does Good at House or Good at Home charge for their services an hour?
Okay, Mrs. Yang, I will take that question with me, and then I'm going to give you a call as I don't have Nicole's charge rates for this. It depends probably if you're only needing a couple of hours versus 4 hours versus 8 hours, right? But I'll give you that information. I'll give you a call as soon as I hear from Nicole. Yes, Miss.
Oh, sorry. I'll take it.
I had knee surgery a month ago. I realized the day after I got home that I had forgotten to press the call button. I got a call in my kitchen from the clinic. There was no way I could get from my bed into the kitchen to answer the phone. And in addition to that, when they did the wellness check every day, by the time I dragged myself from the bedroom to the phone, the call had disconnected, apart from the fact that many days I couldn't even get up. So it's far to go from where you're not, when you're not mobile, to the in-house phone in the kitchen. What does one do?
Okay, so do you have a call button? Do you have a call button in your bedroom? So you don't have a phone in your,
Not a house phone.
not a house phone, okay. Okay, but you have a cell phone.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to think that this is also a learning process for us, for the clinic, and we will take note of that. And I think because it happened before also, but it's not ideal that we will call you on your cell phone, right? Because we also don't know if you have your cell phone all the time with you, but that's an option. That is an option. I'm so sorry that we have to call you and that your phone is located far from you, but probably we can look into providing you with a phone in your room that where you know, for cases like this. And then it is also one more thing that's important that I would like to let everybody know, that if you are going through a procedure, and I know that it is very important to honor your privacy, but it is also very important for us to know these things. If you may share with us, because we can only help you if we know what is going on with you. If we don't know anything, then chances are we will not be able to think that you're having surgery. Certainly we'll honor your request of privacy, but it also helps us, you know, kind of like get ready and be aware that, oh, this Miss so-and-so is having surgery, expected to return. And then up to probably we will also include not only the use of cell phone, probably provide you with a pendant just in case you need that for that time of recovery, or probably pay you a visit at home. So those are the options that I will think that we can work together to facilitate that wellness check.
I just want to say there are phone plugs in the bedroom. So we bought 2 phones ourselves, one on each side of the bed. So it's possible to, you know, to answer a call from the bedroom rather than the living room.
Thank you. And we can always assist if you need that kind of need, right? So anything else? My contact information is on the screen. Call me whatever time of the day. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Venus. I'm sorry we ran over a little bit, but it was important information. Please join us again next month. Stephanie Coffin will be giving a presentation on environmental assessments and what is involved in that, what it means, what you learn, and what changes it might make for you. So now on your way to or from dinner, you can watch the latest edition of the All Residents Slideshow. And thank you again.